This is a disaster. Make polio great again? Is that what the United States is going to be all about? Are we going to reduce the availability of not only abortion medication, not only vaccines, but any kind of medication this crackpot thinks is undesirable? Hi, this is Jen Rubin, and this is Jen Rubin's Green Room. If you thought having an Assad and Putin stooge as director of national security and an alleged sex criminal, although he denies it, as the attorney general, and someone who thinks women shouldn't be in the military to head the Department of Defense, you're probably thrilled with the prospect that RFK Jr. is announced as the likely nominee for Health and Human Services. Understand, he is a complete crackpot. He is an anti-vaxxer. He does not hold to any medical training, has no background in healthcare per se. He has, however, spread conspiracy theories, for example, saying COVID was designed to exempt certain racial and ethnic groups. He has a history of, again, as some of his other colleagues in the Trump administration will, a background with alleged sexual misconduct, in his case, the case of a nanny for his children. This is a disaster. Make polio great again? Is that what the United States is going to be all about? Are we going to reduce the availability of not only abortion medication, not only vaccines, but any kind of medication this crackpot thinks is undesirable? It's an outrage. And innocent people, maybe some people who voted for this guy, are going to die, and they're going to be sick. And unfortunately, they're going to make the rest of us sick. Can you imagine him as head of HHS if the next COVID pandemic hits? And it will. We're in a world of pandemics. We are so interconnected that these things do not stay within borders. Can you imagine such a thing? Well, that's what you've got. He took in crackpots and he's putting them in positions of authority. And mark my words, these Republican senators are going to have to make a decision, go along with this nuttery, or for once do the right thing and protect their constituents. But I have an action item for Democratic governors, and it's this. They should come out together, announce that they will be a refuge for people seeking vaccines, abortion medication, any health care that this nut takes away. And they should begin now stockpiling this stuff. I'm serious. They're going to need it. They should also make clear that any medical student in another state can transfer to one of their medical schools. They should also be clear that any employer who operates in this state, in their state, must abide by the strictest health requirements. They should reaffirm their state vaccination requirements for school-age children, and they should begin free vaccination programs if they don't already have them. It's this kind of proactive, protective action that blue state governors are going to need to implement. They're going to have to be safe refuge for people who want to stay healthy, for people who want to stay alive. Now, you're right if you're saying, but diseases travel across borders. That is true. But at least you'll have a vaccine. At least you'll have access to some medication. And I will tell you, red states are already more dangerous to live in than blue states. They have higher murder rates. They have more child poverty. They have lower life expectancies. And it's about to get worse. Those people who live in states that are not protected by decent, honorable, competent blue governors are about to live in the third world. And it isn't a pleasant experience. So, what can you do? Write to your senator. Say, I don't want the guy with the brain worm to be head of HHS. I would write to those senators and say, I know someone of my parents' generation who had polio, who wound up in an iron lung. Is that what you are in favor of? Those kinds of letters to the United States senators now. Do it, If you've done it, put it in the show notes. I want to hear from you. Let's get something going here and actually stand up to these people. This is Jen Rubin and Jen Rubin's Green Room. If you like the programs, tell your friends. They can find us wherever they get their podcasts. And I am now on Blue Sky, so find me there.